Hi friends, welcome to my channel. What are we doing today? What is this? um Today I think we're gonna do a little chat about what's going on for August of 2024, and also we're gonna talk about one of the things I want to talk to you guys about first of all is what this no buy has done for me. And I wanted to address this because I have noticed it in the past few months, and now that we're in August and we're halfway, we have already passed more than half the year. We're coming up against the last quarter because after September, it's going to be the last quarter of the year. And I really wanted to go in depth about what this no buy meant to me, and then I want to talk about what's going on for the month of August. So, first of all, what is this no buy meant for me? And honestly, first of all, the first thing was this no buy, I was kind of like a consequence because of going back to school. And I work for the government of Belize. Yes, I am a nurse, but I do work for the government of Belize. And when we are afforded study leave, or we are granted, in a better term, study leave, the government cuts 20% of our pay. So we're basically surviving for our entire tenure of school term, and however the program lasts that we are in, on 80% of the pay. And fortunately, I could say for me, the program that I am in is about 15 months. So I am basically on 80% of pay for 15 months. And because I'm 80% of my pay, I decided to go on a no buy so that, um, I don't find myself in financial ruin. But so basically the no buy was a consequence. And I should admit that since September of 2018, every single month I would buy art supplies. Literally, I don't do that much haul. But I every single month since September of 2018 up to December of 2023, every single month I bought art supplies. And now two things here. First of all, I consider myself extremely fortunate to be granted a position to be able to buy art supplies. If there was an art supply out there that I was curious about, I could have saved, strategized, find ways, look for the sales and to get those art supplies. And for that, I am extremely grateful that I was placed in such a position. And I am so grateful that I was able to get some of the supplies. Right from 2018 up to like 2020, how I strategized to get the supplies I wanted was I would have seen what the influencers were pushing. I would look at what the art subscription boxes were featuring, and I would buy those supplies. Now, I don't have a full set syndrome kind of thing where I have to get the full set of everything. No, I don't. But I do have a set syndrome where I do have to get a set of everything. And every month I will get this. Now, this is not a knock on art influencers that are out there, because I don't want them to think that I am coming for them. I'm not. They have their place in this art community. Their place is to show us what is out there, show us what is trending, show us what is available. It is our choice to buy them. Okay. And from 2018, September of 2018 up to like 2020, it was like I had to get everything that they were pushing. And again, I consider myself in a very fortunate spot to be able to get those. But after a while, it started, to like, okay. And then I used my art YouTube channel as a advice to like, okay, because I do art YouTube and my art YouTube goes heavily on featuring products, I have to get products every month to feature. And then after 2020, I noticed that from 2018, when I started my art journey, up to like 2020, the Belizean art community wasn't really bringing in a lot of stuff. I mean, they had stuff, but it wasn't like really big until like after 2020. Then they started to bring in more art supplies. And the art supplies that they were bringing in were not like the really expensive stuff, like schminkes or Holbein. They were bringing in, most of the stuff they were bringing in was acrylic paints. The few watercolors they were bringing in was Sargent Art, Pointers, Milan. They were bringing in these type of watercolors. They were not really bringing in like Caran d'Aches or Faber-Castells. And so after 2020, then they started to upgrade and they brought in more art supplies. They brought in more watercolor paints, more acrylic paints, more watercolor paper, more stuff for people to use. I guess the pandemic also boosted the hobby industry in the Belize because they really started to bring in a lot of art and crafty stuff. And so when I noticed that, what I started to do was I started to compare what I found internationally, stuff that I was put in a very fortunate position to buy for myself, and then I would buy art supplies here in Belize. So let's say, for instance, I noticed that Sargent Art had a water-based skin tone marker set. Then I would get the Crayola version to that water-based skin tone marker set so I could compare the two. Or let's say, they had Sargent Art. Then I will buy something that internationally was equivalent to that, like maybe Daniel Smith, so that I could compare, is Sargent Art better than Daniel Smith? We all know that it's two different companies, two different qualities. So I could compare the two. So on top of buying stuff for myself and all the stuff that most of the stuff, majority of the stuff, if it wasn't graciously gifted, and I'm so honored that I have international friends out there who actually, they're curious about art supplies and they want to see it in my style and they send me stuff. Most of the stuff I bought myself. So I've been placed in a very fortunate position to be gifted some of the stuff and to be able to afford some of the stuff. But I would get those stuff internationally and also buy stuff locally and compare the two. And since September of 2018 up to December of 2023, it became a lot. Now, I am not saying this to brag. I am honestly, guys, I don't want to say, oh yeah, I got a lot of stuff. I don't want to use this as an opportunity to brag. I'm actually saying this because as an art YouTuber, and I guess it's because I am an art YouTuber. I was easily influenced and I acquired a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I was struggling with towards the end of 2023 was actually storage space. I mean, my art studio started to look like a cave, and it's supposed to be a studio, but there's just so much. And I know that I'm so grateful. I'm literally so grateful to be placed in this position, but at some point I need to stop. And I am happy that my Nuba is a consequence of me going back to school, but I am happy that I stopped, because the Turner paints, that watercolor paints that we featured on this channel in April, I've had it since 2022. I've had it for almost 2 years. And I originally, because they had a sale on Amazon with the Turner acrylic paints, with the Turner acrylic gouache, the Turner gouache, and the Turner watercolors. They had a sale on Amazon. Yes, majority of stuff that I acquired is through sales. I hunt down the sales on Amazon, Blake, and Jackson's. I do. But when those 3 items went on sale, I wanted to compare the 3. And I just never got to it. I mean, I was so burnt out from doing the month of the gouache that when it came time to compare the Turner acrylic gouache to the Turner gouache to the Turner watercolor, I was done. So I really never got around to doing the Turner watercolors. And then they had the core paints. My husband bought them for me last year. I by the time I got around to get to those paints, there was something else I wanted to do. So I never really got to those paints. And you notice they were still in wrapping. And I don't want to know if I'm the only one out there that did stuff like that just hoarded art supplies. But at some point, I realized I needed to stop. And I needed to start using some of these stuff that I really never had an opportunity to explore. And when gone is a real word, when I came into this no-buy, I said, you know what? I can still feature new items every month because really there's a lot of items that I have that I haven't really used. And I said, you know what? It's time for. I realized how fortunate I am to be placed in that position to know, even though, yes, I am on a no, but I can still feature new items because I really haven't used them. But also in Christmas of last year, 2023, I present myself like 6 art subscription boxes. Wait, no, it was 5. It was 5 art subscription boxes. And because it was 4 scroller box. It was 4 scroller box, a palette pack, and then I was on scroller box subscription, and I ended the subscription. I was already charged January 1st for the for I think it was it for January's box. I was already charged January 1st for January's box, and I ended my subscription like January 5th. So I was already charged for January's box. So I had that box in the pipeline, and then I had a palette packs box that I present myself for Christmas. And then you had stuff that my husband bought me for Christmas, and he just bought me a couple of stuff. It's not 2, but it's less than 10. And I had those 4 subscription boxes, the January box and the palette pack box. I present myself, and then you had some crayons that I bought for Christmas here in the country of Belize. I bought the special effects crayons, and I bought some Sargent art crayons that I really wanted, and that was it. And so I think that will just round me off for the entire 2024. And like I said, I really do consider myself very fortunate to be able to be placed in such a position. And now I really just want to explore it. I want to get my hands on them. And having said that, exploring them, getting my hands on them, for August of 2024, we will be exploring another Christmas present, believe it or not. And this is a set. Let me bring you guys out a bit. And this is the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle. This is what we're doing for August of 2024. I am so fortunate. I mean, he said, you know what? I said, yeah. He said, okay then. Pick a couple stuff that you want, and if it's within a reasonable budget, he's gonna pay right for me. And this is one of the stuff that I got, and he's like, okay. But it's something I've always been curious about, and I said I am so fortunate that and so blessed that I was been placed in a position to try these. And so I have these now on the chopping block to do. And I actually do consider this as, even though it was a Christmas present from my amazing and loving husband, I will consider it also a birthday present because I'm now using it for August. So, yeah, so this is really nice. And so we'll be exploring these. I have a few illustrations already pre-drawn up in this book. Pre-lined up, so we're gonna go through this. One of the things I should add to is we bought this on sale while it was on Blick, and one of the things I asked to be added to these were 4 colors, because what I have here is the landscape set. Yes, I have the landscape set, but this is the 20 set landscape set. I also think they have a marine set, That is also a 20 set, but I added 4 colors to this because for me and the way I choose to do art, it was a bit lacking. It didn't have enough yellows. It didn't have enough light blues, and light blues and yellows are something that I use a lot of. And so I added 4 individual pencils. So I turned it from a 20 set into a 24 set. And this is now how it looks. I had to kind of cut out some of the lining so that it could fit the colors that are in here. So, and I already have a swatch card already pre-lined up for it. So yeah, this is what we'll be exploring in August of 2024. And like August of 2024, we'll be working with dragons. So I have here dragons all pre-lined up for August. So yeah. And I also have my dragons here. It's not necessarily a theme. I really don't have a theme for these dragons. I just want to get to use them. Now, what I read about these Legion Stonehenge paper, that's what I read, is that they're cotton paper. They're 100% cotton paper. That's what I read. I'm not sure. I could be wrong because, you know. But so I'm also using these dragons on this paper. So, and this one is the Fluid 100% cellulose paper, but it's a hot press paper. So I want to use it on this as well. And then I have some comparisons with its counterpart. So yeah. And that's it. That's what we're doing in August of 2024. It's not necessarily a Smuggers because the dragons really don't have a theme to it. It's just drawing dragons, but it's definitely a feature. We'll be featuring the Museum Aquarelle pencils and to see exploring this. And like I said, I'm so fortunate. I still have a few more those scroller box to feature because some of them had in products I was really curious about, and I was happy one that scroller box had like 70% off on his previous boxes, and I think they had the sale again in March of this year where they had like 70%, 75% off on their boxes, but I didn't get any because I'm on a no buy. And so I was able to get like 4 of their boxes last year for Christmas. And Palafel Pack had a Christmas sale going, which was also super cool. Sorry. And Blake had sales going, which was also super cool. So I am super honored and super fortunate and blessed that when I went into my no buy, like everything was just going on sale. So I was really able to, satisfy that art hoarder in me and hoard some art supplies. And coming January 10th of this year, I had to squash that art hoarder bug in me and told that bug, you know what, school is about to start. I need to start buckling down. And the art supply shopping is over. And now, one of the things the no-buy had taught me is that it taught me a sense of gratitude. I am so grateful because I realized I've been placed in a very fortunate position, and I am so grateful for it. I don't want to cry. I feel myself welling up, but I am really grateful. And 2, it allows me to explore the stuff that I have, to appreciate them. I mean, even the most unusual things like the special effect crayons, I appreciate it. I really do. And 3, it made me realize I might have had a problem, because buying art supplies is one thing, but using the art supply is a completely other level. And so I really had a hobby, and my YouTube channel was a vice for buying art supplies. So I want to change now my channel into a vice for using art supplies. because that's ultimately what they're there for, to be used, to be appreciated, to be explored. And so that's the thing that my Nobai has taught me, a sense of gratitude. It made me realize I had a problem, and it made me realize I need to change the direction of my art channel. I am also grateful for the other art channels that are out there. Like, for instance, Lindsay from the Fuga Crafter. She's such a dear supporter. She is an amazing, and I say supporter in the sense that she's, when it comes to art YouTube, she's a guiding light. And I think it was in 2020 or 2020 or 2019, later parts of 2019, I reached out to her, and she actually responded back. And one of the things I told her, that I was a new art YouTuber, and if she had any advice for me. And one of the things she told me when I asked her that is, don't do clickbaits. Stick to what you want your channel to be. Stick to what you want on your channel, and your audience is going to come. And since then, I've been moving away from, doing trendy items, and do the things that I honestly, Dawn, is actually curious about. And if there's people out there who are also curious about them, who also want to see them in my style and hear my perspective of them, they're going to follow. And I am grateful. I am really grateful. I am a aspiring cartoonist artist from Belize, and I have an art YouTube channel, and I have subscribers. For a long time, I only had, like, for the first 3 years of my channel started in July of 2018, and for like the first 2 years I only had like 10 subscribers. And the only person who ever watched my videos was my husband, for like the first 3 years. And then those people start to follow, and in March, Mark gave me a shout out. Mark Campbell, and I was like, MD Campbell, his art YouTube, he gave me a shout out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. That is super cool. I love his art perspective, and I enjoy watching his channel. And I was like, okay, that is super amazing. I was so caught off guard by that. And I'm just so grateful. Literally, guys, I am grateful. I am so grateful. And yeah. And there's so much warm people out there. And the YouTube art community is so welcoming and warm. And I'm so grateful for it. Now, I think this video is running too long. Guys, thank you so much for everything. I want to thank all those people who have collabed with me over the years. I am so thankful for you. You have been an inspiration, a teacher, and someone who guided me through this YouTube art community. I've learned so many lessons watching your videos, and I want to thank you so much. We know what's coming in August, and we see what's going on in August, and it's gonna be big. So yeah, as always, guys, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you next week. Bye.